This episode of the ResortLoop.com podcast is brought to you by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. Joffrey's is proud to be the official specialty coffee of Disney. Enjoy drinks and pastries at Joffrey's kiosks throughout the parks and check out the Disney Specialty Coffee Collection only at Joffreys.com.
Live on that classic attraction, Spaceship Earth. This is Fish Sean Woo.
And G Woo.
And we're on Spaceship Earth, and who's sitting in front of us, G Woo?
Bob.
Bob from the Resort Loop?
Yep.
He's in front of us on Spaceship Earth. We just came out of the VIP Center, and you guys are getting ready to listen to the next episode of the Resort Loop podcast with...
Only Bob, not Tim.
Well, Tim will be on the podcast.
Yeah.
Roll 'em.
Roll 'em.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. To our new passengers, aloha and welcome aboard.
Hey everybody, welcome to ResortLoop.com. I'm your host, Bob Collar. Of course, Tim Scott holding down the fort back at Resort Loop Studios, the luxurious ResortLoop.com studios. Thank you, Tim, for putting this together while I'm on the road here at Walt Disney World. We did arrive yesterday and immediately went and picked up our race packets. And there was no problems with that whatsoever. As long as you got your waiver signed and ready to go, that's how you find out where you're supposed to pick up your packet. There's a whole bunch of different numbers, and you got to pick up your packet from depending on what number you have. So that's all on your waiver. Got that. Went on the other side of the tent and picked up our race packet with a just beautiful Expedition Everest 5K running shirt. It's fantastic. Got the bib. Got everything ready to go. And checked out a couple of the tents, the New Balance tent and some others. Picked up an Expedition Everest 5K 2015 pin and lanyard, so we got that all taken care of. And then we, after that, we headed over to Pop Century, checked into the resort. Have had a great time at Pop Century. I will say this, and this is one of the few negatives that I have to say. The rooms, now the resort itself is still holding up, still looks fantastic. They're taking a great job taking care of the Pop Century, but I got to be honest. We're all about honesty here on the show. The rooms are starting to look a little dated. There's some issues with at least our room. We're staying in room 1139, and the safe, the door of the safe is starting to rust. The rings on the shower curtain are rusted. There's a light that's not quite seated into its ceiling fixture. Just those little things, the beds are starting to creak, so the mattresses, I got a feeling, are starting to wear out a little bit. But, the resort's been here for a while, and it's probably due for a little bit of a refurb of its own. So, but that's really about the only negative, even if you could call that a negative. Trust me, I've stayed in a lot worse places. So, but last night we went over to downtown Disney. Huge mistake by taking our car. And I'll tell you why. If you've been following me on Twitter, you saw some of the pictures. Downtown Disney, the area around there, driving-wise, is a nightmare. If you're coming in from the west, immediately park in that parking garage. There is no longer any parking down on the east end, down by the World of Disney store and all that stuff. There's nothing down there parking wise. So it's better. My recommendation: take the buses. It's going to be fantastic when it's done, but there's so much construction going on, as Tim says, because of the Disney Renaissance, of course. So. But downtown Disney's looking good. They've got some really cool stuff going. The boathouse is gorgeous. You can actually eat seated in a Chris Craft boat right in the middle of the restaurant. It's beautiful. Enjoyed our time there. Now we're getting ready. Today is race day. Today's Saturday. Whenever you'll be listening to this on Tuesday, but today is race day for us. we actually are crazy because we're going to head to the parks. We're meeting up with some loopers first thing this morning at Epcot. We're going to ride some rides. We're going to check out some stuff over at Epcot. Then we're going to shoot over. We got some fast passes set for over at the studios with Tower of Terror and Star Tours. And then we're going to hit Magic Kingdom, back to the resort, hopefully, for a little bit of a rest before the race tonight. So I'll have some more information once that happens. So, Tim, if you'd play that really cool music, as I say, we will talk to you on the other side of this. Hey, everybody. We're back here at Epcot. We just rode Test Track, Mission Space, Soarin', and now we are in Spaceship Earth with, believe it or not, we've got Jiwoo with us. Jiwoo, welcome to the show. You got to say something. Say hello.
Hello.
Jiwoo's a little bit nervous. We got her dad, Fish Sean Woo, is here. Sean, thanks for getting us all these fast passes and everything. You having a good time?
Yeah, it's a great time. I'm glad you guys could join us.
Tell us a little bit about the weather, because it's a little different here in Florida today.
Yeah, I think we have our 4 days where it's 83, a little breezy, no humidity, and then it'll get hot probably by the time you guys leave. So thanks for bringing the weather down.
Absolutely. Well, it's been cold enough, absolutely. So we also have a special guest. Believe it or not, Tim, a different, another podcaster is down here. We got Scott Campbell down here from Dixie Landings. Hey, Scott, what's going on?
Glad to be here, guys. Thanks for having me.
That's all you got?
Well, of course. It's we're celebrating. I'm glad to be with you guys, and especially on my birthday. So
that's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, best birthday present being with you guys today. So thank you.
Oh wow, that's sad. Well, we are enjoying ourselves here. Tim, wish you were here, but then it'd be too many people. So, actually, Grace, you got anything to say before we leave? You want to give us another show open, a little something?
Live from Siemens VIP with Bob only at the Resort Loop podcast with Bob only.
Thanks, Grace. All right, Tim, back to you. We're going to have some more stuff later on tonight. So stay tuned, everybody.
Bob only.
On the Resort Loop, take a listen.
Passengers, aloha and welcome aboard. For those of you standing, please hold on to the handrails throughout our journey and stay clear of the doors. For the comfort of others, no smoking, please. Our next stop is Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. To our left-hand side are Disney's Palm and Disney's Magnolia golf courses at the Shades of Green Resort. These award-winning courses are part of the annual PGA Tour each fall.
All right, heading over to Magic Kingdom. All right, here we are again, back in the room. It's now Sunday morning. We have wrapped up our whirlwind day yesterday, Saturday. Great time. Enjoyed so much hanging out with Fish Sean Woo, our boots on the ground. Want to thank him again for just a great morning yesterday with him and Grace, Jiwoo, of course, and Tim, you're going to be very jealous of this, and I may let you see it. It is I got a highly coveted, we always talk about our highly coveted pins, but I got an even more highly coveted Jiwoo autograph. So she was very nice, very nice. You would be amazed. A princess in the making, absolutely. Also, a great time with a good friend of the show and fellow podcaster, Scott Campbell from Dixie Landings Radio. Check out their show. It was his birthday, so after Sean and Jiwoo had to take off for Jiwoo's baseball game, Scott was kind enough to hang with us for a little bit at Epcot. We actually did Figment. My son had to see Figment one more time, so... and as you can tell, Tim, I'm talking to you, so you know that I completed the race last night. So you might want to call Joe Quattrochi, let him know. Stand down. I did make it. But before we get to the race, I got to let you know, we hit, talk about your commando touring, we hit every park yesterday. Now, after we left Epcot, we shot over to the studios. We had fast passed the studios on Friday. So we were able to get, actually, believe it or not, we were able to get Star Tours, Tower of Terror, and Rock and Roller Coaster pretty much back to back to back. So there wasn't a whole lot of downtime at the studios, which allowed us to then shoot over to Magic Kingdom to wrap up our day prior to the race. But I got to tell you something. I don't know how far we walked. I probably should have had the pedometer going, but we spent the entire day running around parks, just enjoying ourselves, having a great old time. Ate at Columbia Harbor House. Fantastic. Had a light dinner knowing we were going to run the race in a couple hours. Rushed back to the hotel, changed into our running gear, ran over to the buses over at here at Pop Century. Pop Century was one of the hotels, the resorts that had bus service to the race. There were only, I believe, 3 that had service to the race. And just had a fantastic time at the race. I got to tell you, folks, if you have an opportunity, and I've talked about this before, the cost-wise, I know it looks like some sticker shock, but if you have the opportunity to run in a Run Disney race, it is so much fun. The energy level is ridiculous. Joe Quattrochi, our sneakers on the ground, you were absolutely right. The energy level was ridiculous. Now, keep in mind, we had been awake since 7 o'clock in the morning, going since 8 o'clock in the morning, park and walking all over, riding, standing in lines. And then at 10:40, our corral was released for our run, which was spectacular. It was, people dressed in costumes. There were full Yetis running. There was a bunch. My son's favorite was some folks dressed like Baymax were running. It was it was a lot of fun. The run itself was incredible. Now the bad part of that. And it wasn't horrible, but again, keep in mind we had been up all night long, so they had a scavenger hunt, quote unquote scavenger hunt. My son and I, when we got, they'd hand you a card and you had to figure out the clue to go to the next station. There were 5 of them to get through the race, so we hadn't even gotten our medals. You have to finish the scavenger hunt in order to get your medal, right? So we get the first card, and I thought I was taking the ACT test. It was not a scavenger hunt, more so a brain teaser, and I'll have more of that on a later show. But very difficult. The questions were a little bit rough after being up as long as we were. It was creeping up on midnight. We were exhausted and not quite sure what we were supposed to do, but we got through it. I would have preferred not to have had to do that, but we did it. We got through that part of it. But again, the race, spectacular. The post-race was a lot of fun. Running through Animal Kingdom at night, going through some of the backstage stuff, just so cool. Very, very cool. And, of course, being at the parks at night after dark with the Expedition Everest lit up like it was. Dino Land was just hopping with all kinds of activity for everybody. We rode Expedition Everest and Dinosaur. Fantastic. I don't know if they've moved the Yeti, but he looked a little more ominous at night. So I don't know what that was about. He's still not moving, but not so much Disco Yeti this time. It was a little bit more intense. So had a great time. Again, today is this is our last day here at Walt Disney World. So we got a full schedule today as well. We're going to be hitting some mini golf. I've got a little something special going on that I hope I can tell you about coming up later on. But we also are going to go do Disney Quest, so I'll have my first review of Disney Quest for you. And then, of course, we're having a wonderful dinner with some loopers later on this evening, and going to be kind of interesting. We'll have to let you know about that. But I want to thank everybody who's been following me on Twitter and Instagram and all, and Facebook and that. I know I haven't been posting probably as much as I should, but we've been just so crazy busy, and there's been some folks down here that I tried to get together with, but we've just run out of time. You know, these commando trips, you run out of time pretty quick. So I apologize for them. And again, I want to thank Fish Sean Wu, our boots on the ground, and his lovely daughter Grace for being wonderful hosts over at Epcot for us yesterday. Yesterday. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so Tim, roll that really cool music, and I'll have a little bit more in a little bit. Tim, I don't know if this is going to come through, because I'm in a place I've never been before. Remember I said on the show that I was going to be eating someplace new, and it's actually mythical. This is a mythical place, and I'm not sure if you can hear this, so I'm hoping this gets through. I am in the beautiful, are you ready for this? Ohana. Because of some fantastic loopers, Mike and Florence Porter, who have been kind enough to invite us to Ohana to eat with them and share some fantastic Disney stories. And Florence, what in the world ever possessed you to invite me, well, my son maybe, but me, to dinner?
Because there's a first time for everything, and it is awesome to be able to share the first Disney experience. We all have to have first.
Well, when we walked in here, I was surprised I wasn't blindfolded with a hood on my head. Now I know how to get here. So this is a little bit odd. So this has been wonderful. What have you guys been doing since you got here?
We ran the Expedition Everest Challenge, which is how I knew you were going to be here, which is when I reached out to you months and months ago. And we've been having a great time.
And what was your time in the Expedition Everest Challenge?
Oh, it wasn't fast, but I think overall, when you added the running plus the scavenger hunt, we had finished like 668 out of 1,100 or something. So it wasn't dead last.
No, I think we were 669. So I think we were just behind you guys. That whole scavenger hunt thing threw me. I didn't know I had to do math. That was no fun. So, but anyway, Tim, I have enjoyed Ohana. What was the favorite part for you, Florence?
At Ohana's?
Yeah.
Oh, everything. The dessert, the sticky wings, the pot stickers, the chicken, the beef, the noodles, everything.
I have to agree, and not just everything, but the wonderful company that I got to enjoy. Mike's sitting over there. He doesn't like to talk, so but he said hello, and then Florence started talking, and that was kind of the end of it. So, but everybody, I can no longer say I have never been to the mythical land of Ohana. So Florence and Mike, thank you so much. I appreciate it. What's your plans for the rest of the evening?
Let's see, we're going to have to finish packing because we're leaving tomorrow, but we'll probably watch Wishes either from Top of the World Lounge because we're DVC, or we'll go into the parks and watch it from there.
These are great ideas. Where did you get some of these ideas?
Podcasts.
There you go. Specifically, ResortLoop.com. Anyway, that's not all I got. I still got one more we're going to talk about in just a little bit. Well, there you have it, everybody. Resort Loop Bob got a chance to finally eat at the mythical land that is Ohana. So a special thank you to Florence and Mike Porter. Fantastic people, just super, super nice folks. Just like everybody that I've met, through Looper Nation, through the Resort Loop, everybody's just been fantastic. Special shout out, especially to Fish Sean Wu and Ji Wu for spending some time with us at Epcot and riding Spaceship Earth, and it was just a very very special, magical morning for us, our first morning in the parks. So that was a lot of fun. We really appreciate them. And Tim, I got Jiwoo's autograph, so I'm not going to share that with you. Anyway, and of course, Scott Campbell, thank you for spending your birthday with us. Scott Campbell, of course, with Dixie Landing Radio. He great guy. We just had a great time riding some rides and spending the day, or at least part of his birthday, with us. Thank you for that, Scott. Again, thank you for the Porters for just inviting us to the magical experience of Ohana. It was delicious. It was wonderful. Kim Taylor, who, of course, is well known in social media, photographer at Walt Disney World, a podcaster herself, and she was nice enough to come over after working at Magic Kingdom and met us over at the Polynesian for nice little chat, little meet. And just everybody that I got to meet on this trip, it was truly a wonderful experience. And the race itself, fantastic. Had a great time, a wonderful time with my son. I want to especially thank him for just a wonderful trip. It's been a whirlwind trip, too quick. Kind of melancholy here at the Pop Century this morning because we're getting ready to pack up and leave, and that's always tough. But we are going over to Tampa, Florida to meet the folks over at Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. So that's going to be very nice and interesting. I can't wait to check out how they make that incredible coffee and tea that they make over there. So I'll have a further report on that. We're going to have a wrap-up report down the road kind of after we kind of settle in and can gather our thoughts, because this has been such a whirlwind trip. But I do want to tell you something that I can't tell you. My son and I had an incredible, and I can't emphasize that enough, an incredible backstage tour yesterday. And the gentleman swore me to secrecy. I wasn't allowed to talk about it, and I'm not going to talk about it. But first off, I want to thank him for just a once-in-a-lifetime experience. 99% of us will never get an opportunity to see the things that my son and I saw. And let me tell you something, Looper Nation. I am telling you right now, you think you've seen some cool stuff coming to Disney World? You ain't seen nothing yet. They've got some stuff coming. Oh, my. Anyway, I just want to shout out to him. Thank you so much for that incredible tour. He knows who he is, and just know that we truly, truly appreciate that. Also, I can tell you one of the things that he told me, and that was and we all kind of know this, that everything at Walt Disney World and any of the Disney parks has a backstory. So when you go to a Disney park, this was his tip. When you go to a Disney park and you're hanging out, or you see a cast member and you got a little bit of time, ask them what the backstory is of wherever you're at, whatever you're doing. It can be something, we all know the backstories of the windows, but whatever ride you're on, ask them a backstory. Or if you see something that's new in the park, ask them. There's a backstory to everything, and it'll make that experience all that more magical for you. So that was very cool, and I can't wait to do that the next time I'm in the parks. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, just thank you all, Looper Nation, for following along on Twitter and Instagram, the little bit that I was able to do. Like I said, this was a crazy whirlwind trip. That race took up a good portion of our time. Well worth it. Had a lot of fun. And Tim, that is all I've got. So, Looper Nation, you know where to find us. You know all of our social media. So I'm just going to say what Tim normally says. You've been listening to The Gateway to the Magic, and I always say, see you, everybody.